you've got a gym in Columbus, Ohio called the Old School Gym, right?
Correct.
And
joinarealgym.com.
there you go.
I swear to you.
And it's like the most real, raw, old school type of gym you can ever work out in. You're also one of the co-founders, former president of Musclepharm, which sold $500 million in supplements, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
And fun fact about you is you were a coal miner at one point.
Yeah, coal miner for 6 months. That's how I saved my money for my first gym that I started in 1999.
Okay. Coal miner, was this in college or was high school? What was this?
Yeah, so right out of high school, I was really kind of like, what am I going to do with my life? Because at the end of the day, I was like, well, I really like to lift weights.
Right.
And no one really had a path for me on
how to make money doing
Yeah, exactly. Right. My parents thought I was in trouble. I'm graduating to 2.1 and I'm like, I really just like to lift weights. Right. And so my stepdad got me a job. He said, look, I was working at a sawmill and going to like community college, like right out of school. And it was like, it just didn't feel good at all. And he was like, look, I know you want to leave here. I'll get you a job as a coal miner, $14 an hour, and then you
That's
can
not
work.
bad.
No, and you can work as much overtime
ago.
as you want. So overtime was like about $21.
Whoa.
Well, I literally would work 90 hours per pay, which is a week. So not like, you know how you get like your paycheck every 2 weeks? Mine was per week. So I'd work between
hours a day or something.
Yeah, right? Easily doubles, all kinds of stuff. And so I would work. My biggest paycheck I think was like 92.5 hours for the week. I literally just lifted weights, got the paychecks and put them on my desk. When I quit there 6 months later, I had like 4 or 5 paychecks stacked up on it. Like I didn't even have time to go to the bank. Like I just was so focused on working and moving to Columbus so I could start to live my dream of being a fitness guy. And I looked up that the Columbus State Community College had a 1-year exercise specialist program. Wow. So I was like, okay, I can go there, 1 year pay, $2,500 for, community college and then become a trainer. And so what was funny is as I got there, and I was in class, and I was still not really super engaged. I liked it, but I'm just not a school dude. It just is what it is. And I started working under a trainer that was really doing well. Like he was probably making 6 figures on the east side of Columbus, which is pretty good for a personal trainer at that time. I started learning from him, and 6 months into it, he started getting a little bit busy. So he was like, man, here's a client. And then I'd, meet somebody else, another client. Before you know it, like 6 months in, I'm already working as a trainer.
Right.
When I so-called graduated with my 1-year degree, I didn't even show up. I just said send in the mail.
Right.
Like, because I was already,
making money.
I'm already making money. And
you don't need the proof of a certificate.
No. So at 20 years old, I'm in my profession. Now, do I know a ton at that point? No, I'm learning on the fly. But it's like, fast forward, like the club started getting like a little bit antsy on trying to take a little bit more of my money because I was doing okay. Mm-hmm. And I literally had kind of an argument with the manager and said, you know what, I think it's time for me to open my own place. And so, dude, I'm 20 years old. I walk out that day and start driving around looking for storefronts. I have no clue what I'm getting myself into.
Right.
Right.
A lot of overhead, a lot of expense.
Oh, you don't know, So I find literally, Lewis, you'd crack up. Like it was a ladder closet on the inside of a mini mall in Columbus, in Reynoldsburg. You're familiar with Columbus.
Yeah.
This guy rented it to me for $600 a month. And plus with utilities and everything, I was probably in it for like $1,200, $1,300. I took a $4,000 credit card loan out. A bunch of my clients who were with me, there's like 12 or 15 people, gave me stuff. And the first personal training studio opened literally when I was 20 and a half. So I literally celebrated my 21st birthday a couple months later as a entrepreneur in my own gym, essentially. But when I say gym, that's loose. It's like dumbbells, one mirror, and like a treadmill from a yard sale. Yeah, it's like
the size.
Yeah, it was small, but everybody supported me, and that started like the dream right there.
Sure.
And I walked in every day, and I was like, man, I just got to grind it out, and this is the beginning. And even at that point, I felt somewhat successful because, I mean, I was a coal miner 2 years before that.
Right.
No one had any clue how to make money lifting weights, and here I am, barely 21, and somebody's paying me $20 an hour to tell them how to do bicep curls.
Right.
So I'm thinking I'm winning already.
Yeah. You started doing this personal training in a closet in a
basically
mall.
Yeah.
And then when did things start to pick up? When did you build into the bigger gym that you have now?
Sure.
You also were the president of Musclepharm for how many years? And when did this all kind of come
So
about?
the personal training thing lasted about a decade. I basically, I was in that closet, made it a little nicer over the next 2.5, 3 years. Opened up a next studio, like basically upgraded to one that was, I think about 3,000 square feet. I had about 7 trainers working for me. So I grinded in that game for like a while. And then I bought the original Old School with my high school lifting partner, Dustin Myers, who owns the current Old School with me too. So we had 2 gyms for a little while. So this is probably 2006. I'm doing real good in my area. Like I'm easily making 6 figures. Like I'm at this point, like if I was done, I'm still successful for what I tried to accomplish. Sure. All this other stuff is just gravy, Lewis, really.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like, so I'm looking at this and I'm like, I was known in my area for the condition I got into. I did drug-free bodybuilding shows, powerlifting events. People were always coming to me for diet and stuff like that. And I just really like supplements. So, and I would love Bill Phillips, as we've talked about. Bill was like the G, right? So in 2006, I started messing around with some proteins with one of my mentors, Dr. Eric Serrano. Dr. Eric Serrano and Dr. Mario Di Pasquale were really known for like high-fat dieting, for amino acids, and all this kind of like cutting-edge stuff. And I was friends with both of them, and they helped me. So I learned. So I didn't have like a traditional education, but I got around some like real deal cats. And I just searched them out. I mean, Serrano, I read about him and realized his office was in Pickerington. Dude, I showed up to his office 6 times before he would see me. Sure. And so finally, he's like, on the 6th time, he's like, what do you want? And I said, dude, I think we should be friends because I want to learn from you. Yeah. And he was just like, okay, cool. Like, and so it's like I created these relationships. So about 2008, I was starting to get tired of personal training. And I just felt like I was
You weren't growing. You were just like.
No, I was the same. And like I said, like it just felt like I needed something else. And honestly, I wanted to roll the dice off the wall once and try to be Bill Phillips.
Right.
Of a newer version or whatever I could try to. That was my idol in that standpoint. Arnold was always my ultimate idol. Bill from a business like supplements. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I was like, I need to roll the dice once. I met my partner who, Brad, who understood like manufacturing a lot more than I did. And I had the real concept, I think, from a customer service, from a content, like what people wanted. Cause I was that guy for so many years. I always think like, what would I want from a supplement company? And I created it. Yeah. Brad had a great vision of being with the UFC early. We started sponsoring the UFC fighters like 2008.
Wow.
So when it was on Spike, we rolled the dice multiple times. And I'll tell you what, Musclepharm.
When did Musclepharm start?
So September of 2008 is when we sold our first product.
Wow.
We did $1 million in revenue.
8 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years. So I did that. So I did personal training for 10 years and Musclepharm for about 8 years. I've been in the game, about 18 years. I'll be 38 actually in a couple days. So I've been, full-time entrepreneur fitness 18 years, which is crazy to think about. But so we went from scratch idea in August or April, I'd say, of 2008. First product for sale in September. The first calendar year we were in business, which would have been 2009, we did $1 million in sales. Then jumped to 4, 20, 70, 120, 100. I mean, it just continued to grow. And what I'll tell you is there's a lot of wins about Musclepharm. It was an awesome experience. Built a brand, sold in 40,000 doors, 100 countries. I mean, lived some it was a crazy ride. We were literally, I believe, in Arizona golfing with one of our investors at Musclepharm, and he says, "Hey, you guys know my sister's married to Tom Arnold, the actor." He goes, He goes, "Would you be interested in working with Arnold?" And we're all like, yeah. He's like, "Well, let me call Tom real quick." So he calls Tom Arnold, and I've helped Tom with some weight loss and stuff since then. Like, he's awesome. And so he calls Tom, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll talk to Arnold. We'll see. Let him do some research, and we'll see." Literally, it was just
Tom Arnold knew Arnold Schwarzenegger
because they did like True Lies and all that stuff. They've been homies forever.
Yeah.
And so Tom Arnold connected us with Arnold, and Arnold's team did some research, and they said it. They're like, "Go to Cali, Santa Monica, right down the road, and
do a meeting.
There's your shot."
Wow.
So I'll be honest with you, like, I've been waiting for this my whole life, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I was ready. I'm walking in the office. I already know Ketchel. Well, not well, but well enough. Arnold already knows I understand him. And then now it's like the business is already doing 70 million. Those guys can do all the numbers. But I knew, like, and the same with you, I'm sure, like, emotionally, he needed to connect with somebody to feel good about, dude, it's his likeness.
Yeah.
It's Arnold. He's the GOAT of the industry. So I walked in there, and it was so funny because his office is super intimidating. Every bodybuilding trophy he's ever won. All these movie posters.
Photos,
Oh, it's unbelievable, right? So we're there, and he walks in, and, it's just craziness that it's even happening. And he sits down, and he goes, "Okay, guys, I got this movie. I'm going to pop 20 million on. I got this going on." He's like, "So why do I want to do this?" And then he just shuts up and sits back. No one says anything. I'm thinking, this is my shot. Like, I'm going to get it, right? So I said, "Arnold, here's the deal. Kids don't know how to superset any." I'll go right to the training because that's what I know he likes. Kids don't know how to superset anymore. Their intensity sucks. Like, I need you to help me bring that back. I'm going to come in here. I want to pull all the old footage from the 70s. I want to get you on interview. I want to write plans. I want to do all these things. And we're going to tell people how to train their ass off and then how to eat. And then they food supplement. Arnold always calls it food supplement because that's what they called it back in the day. Like, then it's like, you're not going to take this pill and become a champion. I'm going to teach you the intensity that you're missing that has been just, people are just curling and working on their cell phone. He hates it too.
Yeah.
And so he was like in. And what's interesting is at that time, I was on bodybuilding.com with a really popular training program called the Get Swole, which I just saw the numbers the other day. It's on about 24 million views at this point. Amazing. It's like about 4 years old. And so I was like, hey, here's an intro video of what I just did. And he took my laptop and he watched the whole, I like went to grab it after like 30 seconds and he like gave me the hand, like sit down. So I sat down, he watched it and he was like, all right, like I could tell he's like working in his head, right? But this was the turning point, what I thought. There was an investor that had bought, I was on the cover of Fitness RX that month with my kids. It had never been done before that I'm aware of. And it was at the airport. So the guy buys the cover and I don't know why I didn't think to bring it, Lewis, but this guy did, luckily. He throws it to Arnold at the exact point. So it comes across Arnold's desk and he looks at it and he goes, well, this is really cool. I'm like, yeah, man, that's my 3 kids, you know, Alex, Madeline, and Andon. And he's like, instantly throws his glasses on, he starts looking through it. And then it's at my gym, which looks like the gym he trained at.
Right.
Dude, it's 12-page spread, pull-out ab poster. I mean, it's decked out. And so
perfect timing.
Unbelievable timing. And I remember, and this is kind of like a takeaway, I think. I remember how hard that prep was. And I don't know why, but that specific shoot was really hard for me. And I remember every day I got through it. I was like getting through it, and I killed it, Lewis. I mean, I killed the shoot. And how did I know that Arnold Schwarzenegger, sitting as far away from me, would be looking at it going, and he goes, yeah, man, your abs kind of remind me of Frank Zane's and this and that. And like, where's this gym at? I need to come visit it sometime. And I'm like mind blown at this point. Like, but I knew he knew that I would know what to do with him and that I would keep care of it.
You could trust your brand.
Yes. And so I really believe that the numbers made sense. The distribution was there. But I mean, I think I was his guy. And I still am, I think. And he kind of reconfirmed that this morning at breakfast. Sure. Like it was really cool.
Why had he never done a supplement deal before with his
Never felt that way about anybody.
Really?
Yeah, I really believe that. I think that look, they always say that real recognizes real. Like I'm not no movie star dude, but I'm a lifter. I'm not even that big of a guy. I was a 6th guy on my basketball team, but I'm a grinder, I'm a lifter, and I love it. And I think that, and I know it. I mean, it's what I do. It's what I've done my whole life.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for that moment. And I always tell people when I speak in public, there's no way I would walk out of that meeting and not have him be my business partner. If I would lose that, I would regret it the rest of my life. Like there was not another option. Like I walk in there, when I walk out, Arnold's going to sign the dotted line because of me, whoever, but I'm going to make it happen.
Why do you think mindset is so important in achieving results fitness-wise, business-wise? Like why these principles?
So I think that a lot of people get lost in a couple things. I think it's they really don't know what they want to do with themselves. And I think they have no strategy daily. And I think what I wanted to show with this book, especially, Lewis, was here's a principle that I've found through business, through reading, through life. Here's how I really applied it to myself. Here's a personal story of why it worked. Like I talk about the Arnold story in there, like seize the day, like, you know, how I did it, like standing in line. Like it's funny because he had a best-selling book. I waited in line for 4 hours to get it signed. I was doing $70 million in sales, Lewis.
There's the photo right there. Yeah.
I had 10 seconds of his time. You know what I said to him right there?
Yes.
I come up. He's not even looking. He's signing books. I said, Mr. Schwarzenegger, I'll do $70 million in sales this year. I'm a vendor at the Arnold Classic. I just want to say hello. And he goes, Geek. That was the first. Then came the article. So it's like over time, I'm like, this dude
touch points
will know me.
Yes.
Like no question.
And he said like something for a moment then, and then on to your.
And that's on.
Next.
But that was the first point.
Yeah.
And then it became the article. Then it became the meeting. And it's like I was priming myself for that